Remember, there are no rules in cooking. Taste this. Hi, welcome to Taste This TV. I'm Chef Joe Ciminera. Great show for you here today. We're here at Benares Restaurant located in New York City. Now, Benares is probably the oldest city in India and known for their incredible classic cuisine. Well, you'll find a little bit of that cuisine here at New York City, so don't go anywhere. Taste this. Well, here's our first dish, Filet Mignon. Now, this is an incredible way to actually cook lamb because I love the fact that the lamb chop is marinated and then placed into that really hot oven where they make all the naan bread, where they cook it, if you've seen it. Forms the naan bread, puts it over that round sort of pillow and off to the side. Well, this is how most of the meats, if not all the meats, get cooked at this restaurant, where they're on the skewer. Their chicken, their lamb, right in there. Heats it up pretty nicely, and then he puts it in a dish that you see for finishing sauce. Add some more herbs and stuff like that, and what you get is a really nice coating here. And you're definitely looking at about a medium cook on the lamb chop. Perfect. It's got a good combination of flavors, and it's not too spicy. I mean, me personally, when I go out to an Indian restaurant, I'm a little bit of mild to medium. I don't want to get, you know, crazy where I need a gallon of water every time I eat something, but this is good. Well, there you have it. On to the next dish. Can't wait to see what's up. This is called Kashmiri Tikki, and it really is a nice vegetable cake because it's made up of a combination of really great vegetables here. The signature vegetable cake here is filled with beets, fennel, and a whole lot of great fresh vegetables. Crispy lotus root. Lotus root is always a favorite of mine, and especially when it's fried correctly in clean oil and seasoned with a little bit of salt. My friends, this is better than a potato chip. What makes this a fun treat is the dipping sauce that's on there. This parsley cilantro puree drizzled with a little bit of sour cream gives a little bit of freshness to your mouth, especially when you have some heat going on here. Very good. Next is their baguni mash. Now, the baguni mash can be made with two different types of fishes, cod or Chilean sea bass. Again, with a little bit of turmeric spice on there and grilled eggplant, this is definitely a must try. Well, we just got our naan bread that come out of the oven. And good naan bread should be really crispy on one side and yet really fresh and fluffy on the other. Now, I've seen naan bread made very different in more traditional restaurants or even more contemporary, where they've infused cranberries, scallions, you name it. This is a plain. And we're going to put a little bit of this parsley cilantro mix on top and dive right in. Wow, very good. Next, we have their signature sweet sauce here, a combination of honey, indigenous spices from the region. Down the hatch. Very good. Mashali ke go, fish croquette on a bed of garlic, ginger, and lemongrass sauce. I love fish croquettes, especially when it's fried in clean oil. The sauce here is a great mixture of tomatoes, garam masala, and Indian spices. The rice is jasmine, or you might find traditionally the basmati rice being used. And it's got a flaky, nutty taste that really complements this fish croquette. Delicious. Well, that'll about do it here. I've enjoyed this wonderful, artfully presented Indian cuisine. But we're not finished yet, because I'm going to head back over to the test kitchen and whip up some more great recipes of my own, so don't go anywhere. Taste this. Okay, so welcome back. Today we got some great recipes for you to do, and as usual, I'm going to start the show off with going over some of the products that we'll be using today. Now, first we're going to talk about Garlic Gourmet here. You know, they make this garlic mesquite rub and many other flavors that are just incredible. It definitely takes the traditional garlic powder and throws it out the window because this stuff has got some kick. Now, walking over here to Georgia Olive Farms, this is definitely my olive oil of choice for this whole season. And
I love the olive oil because it has a really fresh blend of first press cold olive. I mean, you could really taste the olive oil coming up through the nasal passage, which is really definitely a sign of good quality olive oil. So we're going to be using this as both a finishing oil and a cooking oil. Now, for dessert, we're going to be having my favorite coffee, which is Village Roaster, our Mocha Java. And, you know, in preparing our rice dish that we're going to be doing today, we needed a good pancetta. And today I've paired this with Volpe, which is, they're using their Volpini pancetta, which is a really delicate blend of both great combination of fat combined with pork. And if you look there, it's a nice medium grade, so you're not getting too much fat and not enough meat, etc. So, now going over to Montchevre cheese. Now, they have a variety of different flavors. You know, in future shows, you're definitely going to see me using their brie. Today we have their cranberry cinnamon. That's going to work perfectly with our rice dish. And of course, something that's really unique that we're going to be using is Galena garlic. And they do something where they take the garlic whole, roast it, and they dehydrate it and slice it thin. It's perfect because, you know, you talk about that you might open up your refrigerator one day and say, hey, I have no garlic. This actually can be reconstituted, and it's great because it's dehydrated and it'll last years. Today what we're going to be doing with our dessert is pairing it with some wines, and of course we're choosing Brix chocolate. Now I broke out this handy dandy little gift packet here just to show you that there's so many different combination of flavors with Brix chocolate. And something that's really good is, I mean, they encourage the wine pairing with the chocolate, and they actually put it right there on the label. So what's really cool is you'll see that, you know, for instance, you just take their extra dark chocolate, goes great with Cabernet, Bordeaux, Barolo, etc. So it's a great guide to pair wine with chocolates, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing on this show today. Usha Fine Foods has got their Caribbean spice rub, even though they're coming out with a whole line of Usha products. Their spice blends are on the money. So if you're talking about a Caribbean spice blend, Latin spice blend, Indian spice blend, Western Indian, this is definitely the way to go. And we're going to be using another cheese as well called Comté cheese, Comté from France, with raw cow's milk. Really good flavored cheese, aged cheese that we're going to be working in. And of course our last product is Fold's Egg Dumpling Pasta. You know, they have a variety of different pastas, 100% semolina durum wheat, which slows down the digestive process to make sure that you're getting all the nutrients and ingredients and wonderful minerals into your bloodstream there, so it gets absorbed from your body. Great flavor, incredible. They use the old drying method. Actually, if we get lucky enough to tour the factory one day, you'll actually see tons and tons of drying hangers from pastas and everything else. It's really great. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tour of that delicious restaurant in New York City. Gonna get started on some of my own recipes at this point. All right, now we're gonna start with some rosemary infused olive oil. You know, we talk about olive oils and stuff and being infused and whatnot. This is an olive oil that's infused with rosemary. However, there are hundreds and hundreds of different of olive oils that are infused that give great flavor to the product. Now I'm just gonna put that down here in a very hot pan. And then what we're also going to do is take some pancetta, and you want your pan extremely hot. You want all the flavors of the pancettas and all the grease and the liquid, the fat, to kind of sit at the bottom of the pan. Because what we're going to do is take our rice. Now this is a regular jasmine rice. As you can see, if you look closely, there's beluga lentils in here. There's a few different kinds of beans. Kind of creative. It adds to the body of the dish. Alright, now we got our rice in there. Now I'm a big fan in toasting the rice a little bit before I add the water. And we'll just put a little bit more oil in there because you gotta hear that sizzle. If you're not hearing that sizzle, it's not gonna toast up nicely and give you a really nice flavor. Now, if you look in here, we got a nice toastiness. At this point you can add white wine or you can just add water, which is fine. And the rule of thumb with rice is 2 to 1. I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of get my eye in there. And of course you want to season it with a little salt, not too much in the beginning, but just enough that, you know, feels a bit honest. Okay, now I'm just going to leave that to sit. So we got our pan. Make sure you use a non-stick pan. Now we got a couple of things that are going on here. I have flavored oil, and this flavored oil is real simple, folks. You know, crushed black pepper, you know, crushed red pepper, thyme, rosemary, a little bit of oregano, and we got that in that oil, and I let it sit overnight. So this is a domestic prosciutto, which is made here, and what we're going to do is just take a couple of slices, because I don't know about you, I can't eat grilled cheese without a slice of meat on it. So, and I like something that's very salty and sliced very thin. First thing comes to my mind is a good quality prosciutto. And you know, you don't want to put too much, so what you're going to do is just give it a quick rough chop. That way it's broken up. That way it'll be easier when you cut your grilled cheese, that you can, you know, actually just kind of slice it and you won't lose it. Is when you're talking about making grilled cheese, I don't like to use the sliced white bread. I like to take a piece of Italian bread that's got some substance and just take the crust off. You know, just kind of, it's almost like a brioche. I mean, you could use brioche, you could use challah bread, you could use whatever to make this kind of grilled cheese. And it's a real simple, you know what I'll do? I'm just going to cut this down like this. So that's my 1/2. I just find you get a really good Italian bread that doesn't have that many airy holes in it. It makes for a great grilled cheese. Now, that's good. So now we have our 2 pieces of bread. Let's just even them out a little bit. Now, I'm going to get the wheel of cheese, and with grilled cheese, obviously you should cut a wedge of cheese to fit this. You don't want to use something that's so soft, like a brie, that's just going to kind of mold over the side of the bread and into the oil. So what we're going to do is cut a nice wedge of cheese here, right? And we're going to mold it, right? So we're going to take our cheese and mold it just like the bread. I'm telling you, this is going to be the best grilled cheese you've ever had. You could use Gruyere cheese as well. So we're going to put that like that, and we're going to take our prosciutto and put it over the top. We're going to take our bread, give it a squish down a little bit. That's fine. It's going to come back up. Make sure you get everything in there. Now, non-stick pan is preferred. Take a little bit of olive oil, first cold pressed. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. Now, at this point, I'm going to take a little bit of Western Indian spice and put it right in the oil. It's now in with the oil. You're going to take the bread. Now, with grilled cheese, you're going to need a good dipping sauce. Now, I have this chunk of tomatoes, these fresh tomatoes I've actually deseeded, crushed, spent the time this morning for you people because I love you and you watch the show. And we're going to take this flavored oil here, crushed red pepper, black pepper, thyme, oregano, you name it. We're going to put a little bit of Western Indian spice in here too. Just a little bit. You don't want to overpower it. You have it from there. You know, you talk about like putting too much in a dish kills it. And then your salt. This grilled cheese goes great with dipping sauce, right? We're going to grab a plate. We're not ready for this now. We're just going to set the plate on the side. And we're going to mix this up gently. Now, you know, you could have had a hot soup with this, you know, hot tomato soup in New York City, right? Half a grilled cheese, hot tomato soup, perfect lunch in Midtown Manhattan. But we're not going to do that. We're going to stick with our tomato sauce here, and it's going to be cold. Now we got a cold tomato sauce. Now look at the texture of this thing. You have the oil in there. I mean, oil gives so much body to tomatoes. So we're going to leave this right here. I'm going to shut off our rice because I had that big puff. When there's big puffs on the lid, means there's no more water in there. It's evaporated completely. And if you look at that, I'm going to stir that up. Absolutely no water. All right, little tricks of the trade. Now, we've shut it off. I want it to be hot. I want it to rest. I want those flavors to marry inside of the rice. We're not finished yet. Over here, we're looking good. As you can see, the cheese is... What I'm going to do is actually move this onto its side now. Now, look at that. The grilled cheese, you can do that. So, I'm going to move it to the side. And I'm going to get an incredible crust on both sides of this as well. Add a little bit of oil. I'm going to take my tongs. See that? And I'm just going to put this down again. I'm going to do all sides. Because with me, grilled cheese isn't about the cheese completely melting and oozing off the side. It's about it being a nice chunk of cheese. Right, now, So here you have it, looking great, right? So what we're going to do is you always cut the top of the bread first, because you don't want to smash the cheese. And you go down. And as you can see, we still have the cheese intact. It's melted around the sides. That to me is a grilled cheese. We'll take our sandwich. And now we have some delicate microgreens that we can actually put in this too. Now, microgreens now coming seasoned. When I say seasoned, they're genetically modified to where you can have this taste like a peppermint. In this case, this is midnight basil. You're talking about purple basil, right? Goes great with the tomatoes. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that. What we could do is douse it in a little bit of olive oil, but I don't recommend putting an acid because with these particular microgreens, they'll wilt quickly. I'm going to put that right in the tomato as a garnish. Alright, now grilled cheese my way doesn't necessarily mean melted cheese all the way through, right? So you can have a chunk of really good, and this cheese, what did we use? Maybe we used 4 ounces. It's not going to cost a lot of money. So get the good quality cheese, only get 4 ounces, and then you get a pound of that cheese you leave sitting in there, it gets crumbly on the side, you end up throwing it out or giving it to the dog anyway. So, buy in small portions, eat in small portions, live longer, right? You want to live as long as I will, right? Now, you have the prosciutto, you have the cheese, you have the Western Indian spice. You can't smell it now, but if you try this at home, you're going to love it. It really goes to the nose. It's going to complement beautifully with this cold tomato dish. And here you have it, our grilled cheese. Now we're going to get cleaned up over here. I'm going to be plating this rice and our final goat cheese, and you're not going to want to miss this. Alright, so now we're going to get started plating this. Now we're going to use honey melt. Really incredible omega-3 filled, dairy-free, soy-free, organic buttery spread. Definitely great in this application as a finisher. I'm going to take a scoop of melt, put it in there, and mix it around. Alright? Alright, so now we're going to get to our rice dish. Now, you see what I talked about, but leaving the lid on there, letting those flavors marry, this is perfect. Now, we're going to take this goat cheese, which is filled with cranberries. It's really going to go great with this combination. I'm going to put the whole thing of goat cheese in there. What we're going to do is add that roasted granulated garlic that we spoke about before. A little bit of that. And we have a little bit of this honey spread that we're going to use. And we're going to mix it around. And be sure you kind of break up. Oh wow, this smells so good. Really good. The combination of the garlic, the cheese, and immediately those cranberries, because that's like a cinnamon cranberry cheese, goat cheese that you got here. So really, it's going to marry well with the nuttiness of the lentils. You don't want to overpower things. Make sure that, and this is a PVC pipe, but you could use food rings that they sell. Since nobody else is going to eat this, it's just me for presentation. I kind of whip this out because when you're doing stuff like rice and you want to get some fancy every now and again at the house or with some friends, this is perfect for molding. So what we're going to do is take a little bit of the rice and put it down here in the center of the plate. Very nice. Okay. Now we got our rice, right? I'm going to take this up and now it holds its shape. Okay, now we talked about this sliced dried garlic that we have, which is, you can walk around and eat this like a snack. We're going to put just a little bit on top. It's really going to increase and enhance the granulated garlic flour. Go put that on top like that. We'll put it around the sides. Make sure we get a couple of red ones to really bring out that flavor. It's perfect. And you could take a little bit of oil if you want. And I had that flavored oil. I don't know where it went. You could take a little bit of first cold pressed olive oil and just drizzle it around the side. That way it really just brings the dish out. It gives it a little extra fat as well, but a healthy kind of fat in there. And here you have it. So I'm going to go on to the last dish, which is a steak and blue cheese dish that you're not going to want to miss. So stay tuned. So if you haven't tried steak with blue cheese, you are missing out. But I will add, steak and blue cheese mixed with goat cheese is even better. Now, to get a good goat cheese mixed with blue is almost impossible. I found one. So now what we're going to do is take some red potato, some people call it new potato, Some people call it peas, whatever. It's a potato that doesn't have much starch. It's a high sugar potato, which means it's going to burn quicker than another potato, so make sure you slice it thin. And what we're going to do is just slice a couple of thin pieces of potato, and we're going to put them down in the oil. We're going to take some salt. We'll take some onions too. Put them on the side. Take a little bit of our dehydrated garlic, which is going to add flavor, but also give it a nice crunchy taste. We're going to take some Western Indian spice rub, put it all over the plate, and submerge it completely, all sides. Now this is a New York strip steak, got some really nice marbling on it, and this is about a 3-ounce piece, which is enough for one person. Okay, this is good. Take that in, go down with a little bit of more oil, get this hot, and we're going to put our steak. Nice mid-rare. Now right now the steak is cooked down about 1/8 of an inch now. So we're going to do a 1/4 inch on each side. Take our steak and lay that down like that. And you don't necessarily have to go back in with the blue cheese and the potato. You could, but what I'm going to do, and you see what I was talking about that garlic? That's a winner. All right, this is good stuff. Now we're going to take our blue cheese. And we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to put chunks of it around the potato. Oh man, I'm telling you, this is a winning combination. Winning. I may not even cut this steak. Should I cut it to show you? Yeah, maybe I should cut it. All right, because I love the way it looks. Once I cut it, the blood is going to bleed into the potatoes. But whatever, I'll just show you how good it looks when it cuts. Alright, so now what we're going to do is lay our plate here, and you see we combination of blue cheese. We're going to take our steak, cut it down at perfect mid-rare. Okay? Perfect. And we're going to leave our beef. Actually, we're going to stack that baby. We're stacking. Okay? I'm going to stack the beef. This is one of those signature dishes that you don't need a heavy sauce with. So it's just, you know, it's real simple. Potatoes, cheese, put some microgreens, the old spinning trick so they don't go anywhere. Spin them, put them on top, and there you have it. So we got our steak dish, microgreens, blue cheese, potatoes, a dish from heaven I call it. Really a great combination here. Now, before we go anywhere, we're just going to get cleaned up. I'm going to pair some chocolates with some wine. You're not going to want to miss this, so stay tuned. So now, at the end of the meal, what I'm going to do now is pair up some chocolates with wine. Now, you've heard cheese with wine, and we've cooked a lot with cheese today. Lord does it. But now we're going to pair the chocolate with this wine. This is a Merlot, which is going to go great with this chocolate that I've chosen. This Merlot actually goes perfect with this medium dark chocolate. And what we're going to do is just shave a couple of pieces of chocolate off. Make sure that your chocolate is at room temperature. And that room temperature will really help bring out the flavors and the combination with pairing with the wines. So what I like to do is take a little bit of the shaved, or some people call it chalk. Take a little bit of good by itself. Wow. Wow. That's good. Might be new to you, pairing chocolates with wine. But I guarantee if you do the right research, you won't be disappointed. Thank you for joining me again on this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. I'm your host, Chef Joe Ciminera. Remember, there are no rules in cooking. Taste this.